Hello, my lives. So this is my second time trying to do this reading. I have a lot to talk about, so hopefully you can follow all of the different points that I go throughout, because there's a lot to cover. I think this is going to be a 2-part reading, but this, I would say, has been like the last week or so, and I would say it probably, like, the continuance of lots of downloads and change and whatever else, I would say is probably going to go until about the 12th of April. I think that's because I think Mercury retrograde ends on the 12th, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. But where do I start? So one part that I will put, and I think that your healing that I'm going to be talking about, your career and finances, and your love life, they all tie in together in different aspects and stuff like that. So I'm going to start with things that you may be noticing around this time. So I know for me specifically, a while ago, I asked my massage therapist, who also works in like spirituality, and she has a pretty deep connection with spirit, and she's able to ask questions for her clients while she's doing massages for them, and she gets messages. I asked her, what is the reasoning for my narcolepsy, because that is something that I deal on a day-to-day basis, and anything you find in the physical or the mental, you can find reasons in the spiritual most of the time. So she had basically told me that there is something that caused me to shut off the barrier between spiritual and physical at some point in time. So whenever I receive a message or a download that is a little bit heavier, I go into a sleeping spell, because that is where I'm able to receive all of my messages without barrier, I guess. And I've noticed at work, where I normally have like maybe 1 to 2 sleeping spells a week, I've been having like 3 or 4 sleeping spells like every single day. And I'm not doing anything differently. Like, I'm not sleeping more, sleeping less. I just keep falling asleep. And it's normal tasks that I used to be able to do without problem. I'm now having problems focusing. And I think it's because whatever, like, my job, your job, whatever your path is career-wise right now, is no longer serving you. And I would say, like, I would even chuck it up to another level. There's nothing else for you to learn from this. Like, even in the bad situations, you can learn things from what you want, what you don't want. I don't think that there's anything left at this job, career, whatever. The other reason I note this is because a couple days ago, and I'm not going to get into specifics because I've been told not to by my spirit guides, I have always known that there is a specific path that I want to go down. And it's just like one of the many goals I have in life. So it's not like I could have seen myself doing this a couple years from now or whenever. I just knew that at some point I wanted to do this. I've been given this idea that I can't unthink of. Like, this one night I literally laid in bed and I just like could not shut my mind off because it was giving me so many ideas for this specific thing that could make you money, but I don't necessarily think it's, I mean, money's great, yeah, we all could use some. But I think that this path will bring you another level of healing using your voice for those who haven't gotten to where you're at yet. For example, like, say you're on level 5 of your healing. You're doing this like specific thing that could make you money, but it brings you, I would say, a level of peace with your body, mind, and spirit. And you'll see the benefits of it in your wealth. But I would say it's for all the people that are at your level and under, even some from the levels above you that have not processed certain things in their healing. You're meant to use your voice, and that is what's coming about right now. There's a career change, and there's an idea that it's something that you've been thinking of, maybe just like a couple of times, like here and there, and now you've been thinking of it a lot the last couple of days. Maybe you've been getting into details and specifics the last couple of days. That's your sign that it's time to put the time and effort into that specific thing. Next, I want to go on to a dream that I had literally like a couple minutes ago, maybe an hour ago. I had a dream that I was underwater and I was exploring a place. And as I was exploring, I was like digging in the sand with like me and a couple of other people. And I was digging in the sand, and these like tiles that were underneath the sand, like as I cleared the sand out, they just like rose up, and they were supposed to align in a certain way. And I started like clearing out all of them, but then more and more people started piling on to try and find these tiles and try and organize them a specific way. And for some reason, there was like this overwhelming energy of like anger and chaos as all these people were piling in, trying to, like, it felt like overstimulation to me. Like, when you have like 30 people talking at you all at once, and they all want you to answer, and you're having to listen to every single conversation, and it just drives you nuts. It was that level of like frustration. And I just know at some point I decided to take a step back away from them. But there was these like maybe 3 or 4 tiles that like held on at my fingertips, specifically these fingertips, which have to do with like air, I guess. That it is the element of air, but I would say it also is action. Right hand is action, left hand is intuition. Do with that as you will. I also want to note that on this finger I have the Jupiter symbol. The Jupiter symbol has, like, the symbol of Jupiter spiritually has to do with the like growth, expansion, the pursuit of knowledge, wisdom, that kind of stuff. So I would say with these, it was clay that was sticking to my fingers. And I know that these like tiles created like, it was like 3 or 4 tiles, but they created like this, like the carving of it created like a guitar, and it stuck to my chest, my 2 fingers, and my feet. I think I'm gonna have to go on to part 2, so I'll explain more about this dream if you're interested in that and the reading that I've interpreted all of this for in the next reading.